I think that's something that US can also get from us. It's because we are a market that we variate a lot. We don't go by the books. We don't go by the norms of the marketing or the norms of economics and everything.
But for the first time, we have a great chance to have this thing which is changing lives across the world, which is changing the way people live, the way people interact. My wish today is to make Africa to be really part of the world, economically speaking.
Before coronavirus, we were doing good, but not great. The pandemic started and we just went full blown from not getting enough orders to getting fully booked up.
The reason why this is always not easy to set up e-commerce, especially in the rural areas, you can imagine Turkana, is because delivery and logistics is always a headache. So what we've done is we've implemented a delivery boy who would just come and pick up the delivery from the point where the product is directly to the customer's doorstep.
One, two, three. My name is Claudio Chiala. Blah 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 blah. Our industries, different industries, digital industry, banking industry, and insurance industry, and a lot of industries are in a stage that are a few steps behind compared to the US, and the maturity of the market is also different. So in the US, you have the consumer, the regular consumer, more willing to try new things because he just doesn't have the basic problems. He's not concerned about, oh my God, if I install this program, this app, my data is gonna run fast, or this and that, so you have less problems in terms of less barriers for the customer to accept new things first. And then, on the other hand, in Angola, you actually have a quite more difficult audience. So you have to convince them. And your audience is not just your final consumers. If you work on a B2B thing, then you also have to convince your suppliers. But I also say, if you make it in Angola, you can literally make it anywhere because there are so many variants and things here are not very linear. I got across with some entrepreneurs, and I never forget the story because she was coming from Portugal. She had master's degree on marketing and everything. And one day I got into her room, and she had her hands in her head. She was very frustrated, and I asked, "What's up?" And she was like, "I wasn't selling." And she sells luxury goods. So she said, "I wasn't selling. I put a 50% off promotion and I sold even less. I don't know what's wrong with Angola." I said, "You know what's the problem? You put it cheap, put it more expensive." And that's what she did. From the price she already had, almost nobody was buying. She increased the price, making it more exclusive, and that's where she started to sell. Because her clients are the type of clients that don't want to run the risk of having the same piece of clothing as somebody else. So they want it as more exclusive as they can. So you have a very different market in terms of many things. And I think that's something that US can also get from us. It's because we are a market that we variate a lot. We don't go by the books. We don't go by the norms of the marketing or the norms of economics and everything. Pricing, communication, and everything. Just the way you get to your clients, to your audience, is not the same. You don't get to your audience by spreading flyers, by etc. The simple fact that if you offer a t-shirt is 10 times more powerful than if you put an ad on TV, for example. So you had very different things going on in the Angolan market.
are in the IT industry. Our core business is to build software products, both based on web and on mobile. So by the time the pandemic came out, we had some products on the shelves, new products and services oriented on, for instance, on what we call mobile banking or those financial services delivered through mobile phones. Those are the products we have been building from the last years. But when the pandemic came, the beneficiaries and the financial institutions we work with, they realized that there is a way to continue business even when in lockdown. So our products, for instance, help the people to have access to their funds during the lockdown period. They would pick the money from their bank accounts and bring the money into their mobile wallets. And from the mobile wallets, they could be able to order whatever they want to order. And one of the products we completed during this period was a mobile lending module that now allows not only to access the funds you have in your bank account, but also to apply for a new loan and to have the systems we built process it automatically and get disbursed into your mobile wallet in just a few minutes, 2 to 3 minutes only. So it's an example of an innovative product we came out with, which was, and the market received it with enthusiasm because it responded to the needs, to real needs that were caused by the pandemic. We were in the core of this transformation. We offered those kind of services. We integrated, for instance, mobile network operators' wallets, like what you call mobile money, and bank accounts from the core banking we sell. So we made those connections. Actually, what we do with that, it's a new model which is called B2B2C, business to customer. So what we do, we offer those end beneficiaries are people with their mobile wallets and handsets and owning accounts in some financial institutions. So they enjoy those facilities thanks to the work we have been doing. And of course, it's how we make money in the company. So I'd say on that particular part, we were positively impacted by this new way of consuming financial services, because we are the people behind those transformation and those technology. Even during the lockdown, people were able to access their funds when banks were closed. So this is an example of how we contributed to the change of the lives in this country and the tech industry in general. In many countries across outside here in Africa, people are not, one of the reasons they could not implement a total lockdown was they could not prevent people to go out because they need their money to go out and have the physical money to buy stuff, to go to bank and everything. So I think 80% or more of African countries never implemented the total lockdown. Or where they tried, they totally failed because the structure of the tech industry did not support it. But in countries like in Western countries, in Europe especially, and Asia, and to another extent Rwanda, we were able to maintain a normal life. But at least to survive, because technology products we built, we as a company helped the country to rely on that to enforce the regulations and the sanitary measures which were needed to overcome the pandemic. We as a company may not be as big as we want, but provided we helped some other people, millions of them, to a better life, to be more included financially, especially those people on the very bottom of the revenue pyramid who can now access their funds, have the same services as people living in urban areas. This is something which we are really proud of. But for the first time, we have a great chance to have this thing which is changing lives across the world, which is changing the way people live, the way people interact, human beings interact between them. We have embraced that technology only a decade after the Western. From time to time, even we are ahead of some of the things, like this mobile services, financial mobile services. And my wish today is to make Africa to be really part of the world, economically speaking.
Helium-fueled balloons for you. For us, it's just at Food Coliseum, we help to keep love alive. Guys, at Food Coliseum, we help to keep love alive with our luxury breakfast gift trays. The need that we serve is promoting love, unity, and happiness between family and friends. When you just want to buy gifts for loved ones, come in to get breakfast for them, to celebrate your children, to celebrate colleagues, to celebrate your bosses. Without tech, oh my God, we would not even. That's where our orders come from Instagram via DM, WhatsApp via the WhatsApp messages, and the Booker app as well. So we really, to be honest, get phone calls. We really, out of 100, I would say like 20% call. A lot of people just DM us via Instagram, And yeah, we get referrals, but it's majorly from Instagram, it's majorly from WhatsApp and the Booker app. Before coronavirus, we were doing good, but not great. The pandemic started and we just went full-blown from not getting enough orders to getting fully booked up. So we had like a lot of rush during the pandemic, but a lot of rush gave us a lot of orders, gave us a lot of exposure, and even though it seemed like there was a bit of reduction after the pandemic, I feel like it's not a reduction in work because we have new clients every day, so I think what is done for us is it's just put us out in the scene. For now, it's just been, privately funded, just by family, basically. So we hope to be able to, pitch the concept and the business plan of this company to investors in the, nearest months. I wouldn't say nearest future because, the future is here right now for the business. So our breakfast gifts are well packaged, prepared with so much love, well branded with little nice cheesy messages for you. Like, when you open our gift packs, you see things like, oh, thank you for breakfasting with us, you're loved, you're cherished. The whole mood is, you feel loved immediately. We've got candles in some of our packs, we've got lighters in some of them, where you just, we just put cheesy words like, oh, light your love, and just embrace love. We've got things that are just a little bit different from a lot of people that are into this business.
From around the world, let's go.
Health, wellness, sport, beauty, medical breakthroughs. Healthy Living cares about your well-being. What are the main health concerns in Africa and around the world? Find out the latest on coronavirus. Connect with our experts and ask them questions.
How long does the virus stay?
Join me, Linor Moudou, in Washington, every week on Healthy Living. right here on VOA.
So my name is Alphonse Juma. MyBigOrder is an online shop. It's an e-commerce platform. We see it basically as an innovation, as a startup. You know, there is no startup that does not have a way in which it's growing. So once we put it in the market, we wanted it to be a full tech startup because we believe that it's part of innovations, or what would be considered as an innovation. Yeah, and from the time that we did this, we've gone through a series of things that would make us think of it as an e-commerce platform. One is we've brought in efficiency, which means now it's much easier for the customer to find the products when they are shopping online. And we've also brought in the aspect of the customer having a range to choose from, and even picking from different prices or what they want, because on the platform we use multi-vendor. So that means any vendor on the platform is able to upload their products and start selling. So a customer then has an option. I can either pick it cheaper because tech has delivered that to me, or I can pick it based on the person who is close to me at any given time. Well, our ecosystem is basically 3 people. One is the seller themselves, and their journey is always simple. They just go to our website and then they sign up a seller's account or the vendor's account. Then they upload their products and start waiting for their orders to come. So and then the second person in our ecosystem is the delivery guy. So the delivery person is the one who picks the order. Immediately it comes to our platform. So we use a technology called geofencing, where when an order is placed, it automatically reaches our admin end, and then it automatically also reaches the driver or the person who does the delivery. So that process then is simpler. And then the third person in our ecosystem is the customer. So for the customer, we've made the products, we've made a lot of, we already have a large collection of products. So they simply go to the platform, do a search, and then they locate the product and then order it from there. So as they order, they simply choose if they want it to be delivered or if they want to pick it from our drop-off locations. And with that and the whole of that ecosystem, we've seen a lot of efficiency which we did not have before, especially during this time of COVID-19. Businesses, there are so many problems we have. First of all, is in the setup of it, where you have to have a lot of capital for you to set up a business. Our platform solves that by giving people an online platform, which you don't need any other thing. All you need is your computer, you sign up and you start selling. That's simple. And the next thing is always about how to access the market. And I think our product has also come in very handy, because then now the aspect of marketing is taken care of by us. That means the person who is providing the product, all they need to do is to get ready with their orders and have it delivered to the people. And then of course, when something is made easy and efficient for someone, then a lot of problems that always people have when they are looking for customers is reduced. I give you an example of let's say agricultural products. They can get bad within a very short period of time. But if you have an e-commerce or a marketplace that would make a farmer be able to sell faster on the internet, then that's something that really saves a lot of time and money. The reason why this is always not easy to set up e-commerce, especially in the rural areas, you can imagine Turkana, is because delivery and logistics is always a headache. So what we've done is we've implemented a delivery boy who would just come and pick up the delivery from the point where the product is directly to the customer's doorstep. A vendor who is selling on our platform can by themselves just start by recruiting the nearest delivery persons, who are the guys on motorbike, which are always there everywhere, the guys on the pickups or the lorries. So if they're able to just have them onboarded on the platform, then already we break that barrier of this thing of urban now on e-commerce only. Africans still, if there is a technology which they feel part of it, that means you've already brought up a team that feels part of it and they feel they own it, then they really embrace it. And that's something that we are also trying to do on MyBigOrder.
Olá, eu sou Claudio Chiala. I am the founder of Soba, also TGI's commercial manager. I do business consultancy, I'm a marketeer, and I'm also an artist. So this is where I work. This is where the whole magic happens. This is where everything. This is where everything comes to life. Come in. I'm also going to introduce you a little bit of what Soba does in general. So we have different sectors. I'm going to be talking about Soba Store, which is the most popular, basically, where we sell goods from other vendors and we deliver to customers. So Soba Store also connects a little bit with Soba eMusic, where we became the very first platform to sell music, digital music in Angola via download. So that's where we basically create everything, the covers, and we have a few artists that already sell their songs. And we were actually the very first ones in Angola to have the very first pocket shows, digital pocket shows, online and paid. Then you have a little bit of the finance team, where that's where they make sure that we're being paid and we're making money. That's where the magic happens. On this side, we have a really interesting partnership with DHL, and that's how we created the other segment, which is called Soba Express, which is a service that allows us to basically deliver and ship goods from Angola to anywhere in the world and vice versa, basically. We also have a team in Houston. We used to have in Miami, and we are migrating now to Houston, where our clients are able to basically buy stuff and have them delivered in Houston, and then from there they come to Angola. So yeah, that's pretty much what we do, and that's where the magic happens. SOBA stands for Supremacy Obtained by Being Authentic. It's an acronym, but at the same time, it's part of our culture, which is the regional leader of usually a village. It's the person who usually solves the problems of the village. And we wanted to go global since we were going to be working in digital, but always looking at Angola first, and Africa, and then the world. We wanted to sell clothing online. We chose the clothing industry specifically because it's not very volatile. So we wanted to sell a product online, but we knew we didn't have the reputation to go to different resellers or sellers, vendors in general, and ask them to be in our platform. So what we decided to do was to create the product first and then the service. So we started making clothing ourselves. And so we created a platform, we got the people together, and our first test was to have actually a platform with a product that would sell. And then with the success of this product, we would use that to call other vendors and have them in the platform. So my challenges start with the fact that we started everything in 2014. And 2014 was quite a challenging year for the country, because it was crisis, and 2014 was a year that most people really didn't believe much in digital, especially to do business. So having a potential audience to accept the fact that we were doing business on the digital, that was challenging. Having the vendors to believe that not having a physical store was not only cheaper for them, but also more effective. So that's why we decided to create a product first. So with that product, that was going to be our testimony to say, hey, this works. We made this much and you can make this much. The banking sector wasn't very comfortable with the idea of having to cross data with companies that were not big. We had really high taxes in terms of everything we did, because that was a way of them saying, we didn't say no, but we're gonna make you quit on your own because of these taxes, but then we were also able to deliver volume rapidly enough to negotiate the taxes. So yeah, it was a process. The fact that a lot of people that I got across, who I got across with, were just tired of the fight. It was like, okay, I'm not, so let's see. What they didn't understand was that their fight actually opened, started to open the way. The thing is they stopped too early. We just kept our heads up and kept moving. I feel like I get inspired by single initiatives. This person that was able to do something without funding, this person that was able to make something happen out of nowhere, this person that was able to do stuff, and that's very important. Academically, I've studied 2 years of telecommunications engineering, and that's where I actually fell in love for programming specifically. And then I went to study business management in the US, where besides business management, I had a lot of marketing and photography and selling. So, but on the other side as well, before I left to the US, I was already a writer. So I've always been very passionate about communicating, about just expressing and passing a message, creating a narrative, and building a story. So that, and the fact that I'm also a rapper, helped me a lot in the process of creating the product, creating a narrative, knowing how to talk to my audience and give them what I thought they wanted, and yeah, so that's where I come from these various different areas.
E sabes como é que é? Improvisamos, mas no fundo, no final das contas, sempre entregamos, sem mentiras, sem causar-te ira. E quando entregamos, tu sempre te inspiras e vais querer fazer uma outra compra. E sobra de sobra e traz muitos mais, trazemos outras pessoas para o cenário e fazemos isso de forma bem improvisada, mas ao mesmo tempo profissionalizada, sempre com em mente responsabilidade social. Vou rimando mesmo sem tendo um instrumental. Yeah.